Hello YouTube, this is a video response to EdT1138's Top 3 Tuesday, this time featuring Dan's Game Corner, and the question is, what are your top 3 game series in need of a revival? I was actually thinking about this one recently and how good of a question this would be, so kind of a coincidence that it popped up. So, my number 3 would be Star Tropics for the Nintendo Entertainment System. The second one was called Zoda's Revenge, and it's just a great game. It's a really kind of in the aftermath of the success of Zelda, this came out, and I believe it was first released in the United States, and I'm not even sure if it was released in Japan. And Zoda's Revenge was one of the very last games to be released for the NES. And there's just some great games, and it's really unconventional. You're on an island, it's a action RPG, kind of like Zelda, and instead of a sword or anything like that, you use a yo-yo, but it's a really fun game. Both of them are, and I really think that this would make a great comeback as far as a game that would be just old-time kind of fun the games used to be, instead of trying to just make new wave in first-person shooters like games seem to be doing now. So, that was my number 3. My number 2, Astro Warrior series. This was a great game. It wasn't really a series, it was on a series of different releases for the Sega Master System. It is one of my favorite shooters of all time, if not my favorite. I would say it's between this one and R-Type. The gameplay is just, it's a vertical shoot 'em up, and I really think that it's a fun game. And if you get the Astro Warrior on these 2 cartridges, it is never ending. If you get the one that's Hang On and Astro Warrior, I believe it is, it actually ends after the 3rd time you cycle through, but it just keeps going and going on these 2, and I miss that in old arcade style games where the point was to try to get points. Now points really don't matter unless you're going on the online boards and stuff like that, the leadership board or leaderboards and stuff like that. Then they matter, but other than that, points really don't matter, and they quit mattering about when Mario came out. Points really did not matter. But in the old arcade style games, that's what mattered. In the old Atari games, that's what mattered, was the points, and you would write down your points and try to compete with your friends, so on and so forth. So, my number 1, and this has to be one of my favorite games of all time, Alex Kidd in Miracle World. This is the first video game I owned personally. I got a Sega Master System one year as a present. I opened it up and I had no idea what it was. I knew what Nintendo was, and I did not know what the Master System was. So I opened it up and I became introduced to my own video games by Alex Kidd. This was one of the original games I owned. I had the Sega Master System that had no games built in, and I got this very first thing. I had played a whole bunch of Nintendo games and wanted a Nintendo with Excite Bike specifically, but I ended up growing up on this game, and this game is in dire need of a revival, I would say. They tried still on the Sega Master System with games such as Alex Kidd in High Tech World, which is just another game that's recycled with Alex Kidd, kind of like Mario 2 was, with just throwing Mario in there. It's a good game. This one isn't. It's Alex Kidd and the Lost Stars. I cannot stand this game, but this one's more of an arcade kind of game. I just don't like it. Let's see. Yeah, Alex Kidd in Shinobi World, probably the best game featuring Alex Kidd other than Alex Kidd in Miracle World. But since then, they have not, and that one was made in 1990, and since then they have not made another Alex Kidd game because Sonic became the flagship mascot for Sega. However, in recent days they've brought Alex Kidd back in shape in ways of being a guest star in games like this, Sonic Sega All-Stars Racing. However, in the sequel of this game, he's not even going to be in it. So, I really do think Alex Kidd is an awesome, awesome mascot for Sega. In the same vein that, although Mario is the mascot for Nintendo, Kirby is also another great Nintendo character, so is Donkey Kong. So on and so forth. I really do think that Alex Kidd is in dire need of a revival. And I would say a platformer would be best, although a Mario 64 kind of 3D game would be great, as long as they don't make it just a junk game. I think it has a lot of potential. So that's my top 3. Thanks for watching.